Logan and the Hobo, best friends forever. Hey, this is Mike from the Logan and the Hobo RV Adventure channel. Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about a slight issue I was having with my Victron battery monitor. The battery monitor was starting to glitch just a little bit. Alright, this video is brought to you by Camco RV toilet paper, the choice of all toilet paper hoarders. So I always keep an eye on the battery monitor when I periodically come in the trailer. The battery monitor is good to make sure that the battery state of charge is good, the batteries are functioning properly, and also the converter / charger is doing its job and charging the batteries correctly. So I keep an eye on the voltage reading on the battery monitor, and it should either be like 13.1 volts, which is the float charge from the converter, or 13.6 volts, which is, I believe, the bulk charge from the inverter. So we'll come take a look over here. Right now it's at 13.66, which is that the bulk charge coming from the converter. All right, so just real quick for the uninitiated, your RV, your trailer has two electrical systems. It has the battery 12 volt DC power system, and then it has the house power, the 120 volt AC power system. The AC power system, the 120 volt, it's happening when you're plugged into shore power. And you have a device in your trailer called a converter. The converter converts that shore power 120 volt energy into the DC power to charge your batteries, and it also helps run all the DC operated functions in the trailer when you're plugged into shore power. So the converter is also a charger. It also charges your battery. And so the term can be kind of used interchangeably, converter and charger. So one day I came in the trailer and saw the voltage was just giving me crazy readings. First of all, it said like 12 point something volts, and I was plugged into shore power, so plugged into shore power, it should say 13.1 or 13.6. And then the voltage reading was fluctuating between like 11 point something to 12 point something, and back and forth and just giving really weird readings. And then the LED display started flashing, the whole thing started flickering. And because the voltage, the battery monitor was acting so crazy, the voltage was fluctuating so much, I figured it was probably a problem with the the battery monitor, and not a problem with the batteries itself. But I did check the voltage directly at the batteries, and it was reading the 13.1 volts, which is, if it's plugged into shore power and in the float mode, that's what it should be reading. And so I knew everything up until the batteries was working good, so that kind of confirmed that it was probably a problem with the battery monitor. And so I started researching what the problem with the battery monitor could be, and I found out that it's the fuse. There's a little inline fuse on the little wire that connects to the battery monitor shunt and then to the positive terminal of the battery to give power to the battery monitor. There's a little inline fuse there, and exposed to weather, it got a little bit corroded and started making the battery monitor glitch out. So I'd like to be able to take the credit for figuring out the problem why the battery monitor was glitching and the fuse exposed to the weather, but I can't take credit for it. I found it on the internet, Googled it. And so here we are. You can see it's this little red wire right here. It's coming from the shunt. The shunt's housed in this box. This little red wire here, and there's an inline fuse. The inline fuse is open just slightly on the top, and so eventually water got in there and just caused a bit of corrosion that caused the contacts to go bad, and hence the battery monitor started glitching. And what I did is I just added some dielectric grease to the top and then to the connections on the inside, and now it's good to go. So for that fuse housing, before I put the dielectric grease in there, I took it apart and I cleaned all the connections with a small wire brush. Then I added the dielectric grease and closed it back up, and it's working good. And like I showed you, I put the dielectric grease on the top there, and I think that'll probably keep most of the weather out, but I'm not going to take a chance. I'll probably put some heat shrink tubing or something like that on there just to make sure it stays watertight. So if you use that Victron battery monitor and you keep it exposed to the weather like I do on the tongue of the trailer, just be cautious of that fuse assembly. You're going to need to do something to keep the water out of there so you don't have any problems like I did. And then I'll just leave you with another coronavirus video montage. Since we're not doing any real camping right now, I guess I'll do some keyboard camping and post some videos, but I'm running out of footage, so I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel here, but I hope you enjoy it. that wraps it up for this episode of the Logan and the Hobo RV Adventure Channel show. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, please hit the like button. If you like the content, please subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video.